Ready to soundtrack your summer? With Red Bull Summer All Day Play, you choose a playlist that fits your summer vibe the best. Are you a festival fanatic, a deep-end DJ, a road dog, or a trail mixer? Just add a song to your chosen playlist and put your summer on track. Red Bull Summer All Day Play. Red Bull gives you wings. Visit redbull.com/brightsummer to learn more. See you this summer.
So good, so good, so good.
Everything you want for summer is at Nordstrom Rack stores now, and up to 60% off. Stock up and save on the brands you love like Vince, Sam Edelman, Frame, and Free People. Join the Nordy Club to unlock exclusive discounts, shop new arrivals first, and more. Plus, buy online and pick up at your favorite Rack store for free. Great brands, great prices. That's why you Rack.
Welcome to the Susan LoPresti Wellness, Mind, Body, and Soul podcast. This is the go-to space for midlife and mature women who are ready to reclaim their health, boost their energy, and live long, vibrant, and purposeful lives. Each week, we dive deep into natural wellness, holistic healing, anti-aging strategies, and healthy lifestyle habits to help you feel your best physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Whether you're navigating menopause, working through chronic conditions, or simply wanting to age gracefully and intentionally, this show is your sanctuary for science-backed insights, powerful stories, and soul-nourishing inspiration. So if you're a woman 40 or 50 or older looking to thrive in the next chapter of your life, you're in the right place. My guest today is Hunter Ziesing. Hunter, from a very young age, feared aging. Both of his grandfathers had heart attacks before 50, and he was determined not to let his genetic risk define him. But back then, he didn't have the tools that we have today, tools that let us understand risk, build a prevention strategy, and take control. So he started building his own program, armed with knowledge from voices like Peter Attia, Andrew Huberman, Gabrielle Lyon, David Sinclair, and Rhonda Patrick. But he quickly ran into a problem. They all said different things. Even when they agreed, his primary doctor wouldn't support it. He looked for a new provider, but found most people trying to sell him something like peptides or supplements, hormone optimization, hyperbaric chambers. Maybe those things helped, but it's hard to trust advice from someone whose solution is always a product to sell. He started wondering, am I the only one stuck here? So he talked to hundreds of people in the longevity space, high performers, athletes, busy professionals, and they all said the same thing. Overwhelmed by conflicting information, unsure who to trust, gaslit by the traditional medical system. That's when he teamed up with Dr. Johan Fahimi and launched Longevity Health. Hunter Ziesing is the co-founder of Longevity Health, a physician-led wellness platform pioneering how consumers access and understand their health data. His background spans 2 decades in health and wellness, including years spent raising millions for cancer research and directing the Charity of Choice Foundation, which drew support from Secretary of State John Kerry. Our conversation today will center around how emerging technology, especially AI, will reshape our relationships with health providers. Hunter is convinced that AI will replace your primary doctor in 5 years. I think you will find it fascinating to listen to Hunter discuss how advanced testing, personalized care, and wearable data are converging to offer a holistic view of health in a way only recently possible. His upcoming Longevity AI project will deliver affordable wellness for just $10 a month, truly putting preventative health in everyone's hands. So, without further ado, Hunter, welcome to my podcast. I'm so excited to have you here today, and I'm super excited about this very important conversation.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. You spent years helping people to understand their health data. How have you seen the world of wellness and preventative medicine evolve over the past 2 decades since you've been involved in health and wellness?
Oh, it's a great question. I'll try to give you a short answer. I was on Wall Street for 20 years, focusing on healthcare, consumer, and technology companies, and was always an athlete, a cyclist in great shape. And I witnessed my father and five of my friends all pass away from largely preventable diseases. Some of it was cancer, it was unavoidable, but they could have had a much longer lifespan and a better health span had they gotten in front of disease. Unfortunately, back then there was a lot fewer ways to really get in front of your health.
Mm-hmm.
And today, 20 some odd years later, there's so many functional tests from cancer screening to blood tests to even hyperbaric oxygen chambers to gut health tests. It's confusing the marketplace right now of consumers, but I've been sort of following that and the bells and whistles went off in my head when Apple Health launched about 15 years ago. I'm like, wow, they're going to do something really cool with combining health data. They've never done it.
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft tried to do it back in 2018 and failed. But you didn't have AI, you didn't have the demand for social determinants of health that you're seeing today. Make America Health Again is a great campaign.
Yeah.
And, there just weren't as many tools as there are today.
Right. So, can you explain how data-driven health is transforming the way individuals can proactively manage their own well-being?
I'll take a shot at it. So you go to the doctor every year and you get your physical exam, even if you go. Most people don't go every year. They rarely do a blood test. They might do an EKG. They ask you how you're doing. And, maybe they tell you to lose a little bit of weight and exercise a little bit more. And you do that for about a week and there's really no plan given to you. Moreover, they don't test the amount of data that they could be testing for. So what I mean by data, data is a pretty broad term. You have your HIPAA data, which is your medical records, which is great to have, but it's pretty much historical. If you had a operation or a knee injury or something 10 years ago, it's really not going to affect your longevity. Now, if you have cancer in your genes or, you're predisposed towards certain diseases, there are ways that you can go use new data to test. The number one test that we recommend is a blood test. And there's lots of companies that do that today and get, 50 or 60 biomarkers and, test all kinds of things in your blood that can warn you of things going on in your life. Another test that we really recommend is called a DEXA scan. Have you had a DEXA scan?
No, what is that?
Every woman and man over 40 should get one. It's like a low intensity MRI. And you lie down on a table and it takes 15 minutes. It scans over your body and it determines where you have visceral fat in your body, like in your organs, if you have any, which I just had one and I have some visceral fat I need to address, which being an athlete and in great shape, I was surprised. It also measures bone density. In particular for women, I think some health organizations recommend women over 60 get a bone density test. I recommend anyone over 40 to get it.
Yeah, I do get a bone density test.
You do? Yeah, that's called a DEXA scan. Gut biome tests are another great thing you can do, and they range from $200 to $300. That will give you a lot going on inside your body. Sleep is another very important factor. We run sleep tests. I know a lot of people are using Oura Ring and Whoop and things like that to track their sleep, but they don't really give you a plan to teach you how to sleep better. It just tells you how you're sleeping. And then, there's a whole host of other functional medicine tests coming into the marketplace from, mental wellness to other areas that can help you get in front of things.
Right. Right. So you made, and I recorded this in the bio, that you made a powerful statement that you believe that AI will replace your primary doctor in 5 years from now. What makes you confident about that prediction?
5 years is a wild ass guess. It could be a year, it could be 10 years. Because with the exception of the fact that AI still makes some mistakes, It hallucinates is the terms. It's faster and smarter than any physician. And it can run through a variety of data. And I can show you an example. We've built an AI doctor that I can talk to that can read my data, which I'll demo for you. It takes a minute. We can call it and talk to it. And it's more accurate, it's quicker, it's becoming more personalized where people are going to learn to talk to an AI agent. Similar to the movie Joaquin Phoenix in the movie Her about 20 years ago. I don't know if you saw that when he falls in love with a computer. People are learning to talk to AI agents and starting to trust them. Eventually, and it's being tested, I believe, in Singapore and Israel and Taiwan right now, AI can read your records and your test results and it can prescribe medicine. So you won't need a doctor to give you a prescription.
Wow.
Now, the FDA and the government, that's why I say it could be 3 years, it could be 10 years. It depends on when the government sort of wants that to happen. It could also prescribe tests for you, whereas right now you need a physician to prescribe a test, like a blood test. Moreover, the amount of data coming into the marketplace that people need to sift through around their own health is becoming much more arduous to people to go through, and it's becoming much more complex. And then finally, the medical industry right now does not really support, doctors don't really support all these functional tests. It's kind of like going into your ski shop with your boots and your bindings and your poles and your brand new jacket that you bought on Amazon. And you're saying, can you mount my bindings for me? And oh, by the way, my zipper broke on my jacket that I bought on Amazon. So when you walk into a physician with all this data, they don't know what to do with it all. They don't even get paid to prescribe this stuff. It's not part of their actuarial tables and what the insurance companies are paying for. So I'm getting off on a tangent. The reimbursements have to change, and the medical industry needs to support these preventive tests.
Yes. Yes. So for myself personally, I see a functional medicine doctor
Mm-hmm.
because when I was in my 40s and I was going through perimenopause, I was experiencing all kinds of crazy symptoms that I never had in my life. And going to conventional doctors, I was being told that it was perfectly normal for a woman of my age to be experiencing these symptoms. And I
Frustrating,
kept
isn't it?
thinking about my mom, and I was like, I don't remember my mom ever dealing with this. But anyway, I finally went to a functional medicine doctor, and to your point, the problem is that it's an out-of-pocket
Correct.
expense. And not everyone is able to manage that, especially if you're paying for your health insurance like I currently am now. And then to have to pay out of pocket, which is, it's a hardship for some people to do that. But she saved my life. And she provides all of these tests that you're talking about
Mm-hmm.
that other doctors have never heard of before.
Yep. And many doctors are starting to offer longevity clinics. The bricks and mortar clinics can cost up to $30,000 a year, or you can go see Peter Attia, who's got one that costs 200,000. They're expensive. So, and we have an online clinic. Well, first of all, before I sell our company and our wares, you can do a lot of this yourself now with ChatGPT. It's much better than, Google search and all the search engines were 15 years ago. And you can load your tests into these large language models and it'll give you it'll analyze your tests. Now, again, it makes mistakes. You still need a physician in the loop.
Yeah.
So what we do right now, we have an online longevity clinic. It costs $11,000 a year. We do 6 tests. I mentioned some of them: gut, sleep, glucose monitor, DEXA scan, a blood test. Some cases we're doing MRIs, and some people are doing genomics. But for $11,000, we pay for all the tests, and we retest every quarter, as many times as you want to test. That costs us money, but most people just redo the DEXA scan and the blood test each quarter because you can see your biomarker changes. And rather than just saying, "Hey, here's what's wrong with you, Susan," we interview everybody with our medical team. So everyone gets a doctor, a clinician, a nutritionist, and an exercise physiologist. And we go, "Hey, what's going on in Susan's life?" Menopause. Okay. What else do you want to achieve in your life? Well, I'd like to be strong. I'd like to have a stronger upper body. These are the things that I want to change my diet. So we develop a plan and then we follow people through the plan and we motivate them to make change. In fact, we give everybody a Slack channel. And for those that don't use Slack, email or phone, but it's 24 access to your medical executive board. And that's $11,000 a year. We've had great clinical outcomes, but it's not available to everybody because it's expensive. So what we're doing right now, we just launched a beta test last week, is an AI doctor that reads all your medical records and makes recommendations and develops plans for you. And it reduces the cost significantly. We're having plans for as little as $79 a month, upwards to $300 a month. The more expensive plans come with a few more tests than the basic plan. But AI can take a lot of heavy lifting away from the medical team. A doctor still reviews it all. So it's AI with human in the loop. And again, I'd love to show it to you. We can call it.
Yeah. So do you think that there'll still be a role in the future for a human connection? Or is
Absolutely.
it
So first of all, everybody thinks AI is the be all end all. It's not. I mentioned the regulatory issues. I mentioned that AI can make mistakes. And third, consumers aren't fully ready for the driverless doctor yet. They really want a human in the loop.
Yeah.
But someday I think as more and more data comes out, and you're getting more tests throughout your whole life. You're developing this relationship with your AI agent that knows you better than anybody. It's your data, it's your information, not your doctor's. And most of your stuff's all over the place, right? It's not in
Yeah.
one place.
Right.
And you can use that data and your check engine light will come on, right? And it's going to say, hey, you better look out. Hey, we just noticed you were traveling abroad for 2 weeks. I bet you didn't eat very well. Or you're a vegan and you walk into Whole Foods and it develops a menu plan for you and gives you food products from sponsoring food companies, healthy food products that are on sale.
Wow.
You'll use it to work with your friends like on Meta, Facebook and Instagram to develop, Women's with Osteoporosis Club of 94111 zip code, right? Men over 250 pounds, right? When you get down to 225, you get kicked out of the 250 club. So gamify health to help change behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. So you're going to demonstrate?
Yeah, sure. So again, I've already been through this program and I've called this many times. If I called it for the first time, it would onboard me and it would just ask me questions about my life, my family history, what's on my mind, and then it would say, "Great, have you done any tests?" Yes, download your tests. Would you like to order additional tests? Yes, we can order the additional tests for you. So I've already put like 6 tests into the program. So let me just call it and I'll give you a quick example. If I can find the number here. Hold on, here we go. I'm just going to call it and put it on speaker.
Hello, this is Jesse from Longevity Health. How have things been going for you?
It's going pretty well. I just wondered if you could give me a quick rundown on my recent blood test as well as what you saw in my DEXA scan.
Great to hear things are going well. I noticed that no new documents have been uploaded to Healthy since our last call, but we can definitely go over the results from your previous test if you'd like. From your last blood test on August 9th, 2025, there were a few things that stood out. Your BUN to creatinine ratio was elevated at 26, which might suggest dehydration or some renal stress. Your insulin level was also on the low side at 2.3 microunits per milliliter. As for your DEXA scan from July 11th, 2025, it showed that your body composition and bone density are generally in good shape. Your BMI was 24.4 and your total body fat percentage was 24.7%, which is within the normal range. However, there was a slightly higher android fat ratio, but it still falls within acceptable limits. Would you like to dive deeper into any of these results or discuss any symptoms you might be experiencing?
Not right now, but if you could text me a plan for some weightlifting, 1 to 2 days a week. I've got to start working on my upper body. Thanks. Anyway, you get the idea.
Wow.
So I'll get a text during this call with a weight plan. If I do another blood test, which I will in a few months when I get off my butt and start eating better and exercising. I mean, I exercise like crazy, but I need to be lifting more weights. My vitamin D levels were deficient. My creatine was a little bit low. So I'm going to try it for 3 months and then I'll retest. And then as soon as I retest, the AI will read my tests and tell me what my comparative results are.
So how much is this program that you just demonstrated? Is that the one that's 300 a month?
Yeah, 79 is the beginning. It's ai.longevityhealth.com. habitsto.me is our beta. I'll send you the links. You can send it around to your users. It's
Please.
$79 with a clinician looking at all your data.
Now, did
And
you have something as low as $10 a month?
so the long-term plan, this is our vision, is a $5 to $10 a month plan
Oh, no.
with
Okay.
hundreds of millions of users on the platform.
Right. This is incredible. This changes everything.
Here, I just got my text. I just got a text from Jesse AI. I could share it with you, but it's basically, it just sent me a plan to objective for working out, a structured meal plan, nutrition supplements, and some weight training. Doesn't mean I'm going to follow through with it, but in the future, it'll not only develop a plan for you, but it'll hook you up with an exercise coach
Wow.
or a nutritionist.
This is the future of healthcare almost. Do you think so?
I do. I really do. I was recently, I've spent a lot of money on weddings and braces and whatnot for my three daughters for the last 20 years. And now I'm spending money on myself. So I decided to go see an allergist
Uh-huh.
because I've had allergies my whole life. I went on ChatGPT and I figured out exactly what I needed. And it was 100% accurate. I needed a certain blood test for my condition and for my symptoms, and I needed a skin test. So I scheduled an appointment. It took me 6 weeks to get the appointment. I spent an hour and a half over there onboarding and going through the whole process. And then they came out and said, you need this blood test and you need this skin test. And I'm like, well, I already need it. And they go, yeah, you do. I was, well, let's do it. And they go, no, you need to come back in a month to get your skin test and your blood test because the insurance company won't pay unless you come back a second time. That's a whole nother discussion I'm going to have with Department of Health Services when I go see them in November. Like Medicare is wasting trillions of dollars on people going to the doctor
In what way?
because people can be prepared and know kind of what they need. Like I said, that check engine light comes on,
Yes.
right? So Medicare paid for 2 visits for me when all I needed to do was go to a lab. I didn't even need to go to an allergist. I could have just gone to a lab and gotten my skin test.
Right.
Now, when AI can prescribe medicine and I need some type of medication or I need shots for allergy shots, which I'm not going to do. And there are certain foods that I need to avoid, right? AI will just generate a meal plan for me and which foods to avoid. I don't need to go see a physician for that.
But now, will AI be able to prescribe meds?
Like I mentioned to you earlier, we're going to test it in Israel, Singapore, and Taiwan. We're working on that right now. We're a ways off from that. And I don't know where the US will stand on that.
Yeah, because don't you need to be a medical doctor to write a script for someone?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And that's what we do now. We can write scripts for anybody, or you can go to your doctor with your information and maybe they'll write you the script. You don't have to use our doctors. Eventually, with a full AI plan at $10 a month, my vision or our vision is you can incorporate all of your doctors, right? So if your check engine light goes on for one particular procedure you might need done, then you go see the doctor, or you need a script, you go see the doctor. In fact, you won't even go see the doctor. The doctor will just link into your longevity health account and authorize the prescription.
Now, are doctors willing to do that, to be affiliated with you at this point? Because you know the way doctors
The only
are.
doctors now are doctors we have on staff, full-time clinicians, but every
Okay.
doctor I talk to likes this, in particular if
Oh,
some of these functional medicine products become more mainstream and covered by insurance, because they can order the tests.
yeah. Wow. Where do you see the future of healthcare going?
I think for the 5% of the country that cares about their health, that is doing something about their health, and unfortunately, it's most people that can afford it, the wealthy, you're going to see a great increase in health span and maybe lifespan as a result of it, because people are taking health into their own hands. But where I see the real future, this is the trillion-dollar company, is if we can get 1 billion people on this platform and use gamification to change the nature of preventive health by not only providing the tools and the resources and making it more affordable, but providing the gamification aspects to get people to do something about their health. And I know everybody goes, oh, Americans are fat, they're lazy, with the exception of New York and San Francisco. They don't, they're going to Walmart and buying shitty food and they don't care. I've interviewed hundreds of people across the country. They do care. They can't afford it, they don't have the tools, and they lack the motivation. And the motivational factor is a major one, is getting people into social groups to start focusing on their health. You know, hey, Susan, Hunter did 8,000 steps a day this week. You did 4, you know. Hey, Hunter lost 5 pounds and is eating a better diet. You haven't. You know, getting people sort of communicating and competing against each other to want to change their health. I really think you need to do it through social elements, not just financial incentives.
Yeah. But now you did say that only 5% of the population care about their health. That seems so low.
I did say that.
Did
Only 5% do anything about their health. The rest
okay.
don't. And there's all kinds of problems. Food supply, right? The drug companies love the crappy food supply because it makes us sick, right?
Yeah.
Processed foods. And then they sell us drugs. Insurance companies that cover Medicare prefer people to be sick because they get more money from the government for sick patients. So this has got to go to the government. We need to change. In fact, say what you like about Trump and RFK. There's a few things that RFK's I really believe in what they're trying to do is to
Me
change the
too.
food supply, regulate the drug companies, and
Me
make
too.
healthcare more affordable. Of course, no one believes that right now because, the government shut down over Medicare.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but I'm very hopeful where we're going with RFK and everything that he's doing as far as eliminating all of the dye, especially for children. They catch their eye with all these colors in the supermarket, Fruit
Yeah.
Loops, Lucky Charms,
Yeah.
and meanwhile, they're poison. And they know how to market it too, because in the supermarket, all of those types of products are on the lower shelves of the
Yeah. Yeah.
supermarket to be
Check out. Candy at checkout.
yeah, to
Did
be
you know
eye contact with little ones. It's
Did you know
sad.
that, and I'm not a food substitute additive specialist, but I think there's 4,000 allowable food additives in the European community, and there's 23,000 in America. That doesn't mean they're all bad,
Right.
but I spent a lot of time traveling through Europe, and people are generally pretty healthy over there. I mean, the food supply is largely locally grown. It's not the Costco Home Depot society. Drive around the big SUV and go fill the car full of Fruit Loops, but I would agree with you. And again, I'm somewhat careful about regulation and having the government tell me what I can and can't do,
Yeah.
but they can certainly change incentives for companies to provide better food products for people.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think it's very, very important. In Europe, they don't allow any of this. And here we are, supposedly the greatest country in the world, and we're killing our people with food.
And the cost to society is enormous.
Yes.
Absenteeism, long drawn out health illnesses. You know, I don't know if anyone's going to extend life. Maybe Brian Johnson will because he takes like 500 pills a day, but peptides and all that stuff. But if you can extend health span, you'll probably not live longer, but you'll die much quicker.
Yeah.
Not everybody. People have, diseases, genetic disorders, and we need to take care of those people, right? They need to be covered. But I just don't like paying the same healthcare rates for somebody that's not taking any initiative to be healthier.
Yeah.
So my objective, rather than bitching about everything on Facebook, like all my friends are about politics right now, is I'm doing something about it. I want to create a business that helps change the nature of preventive health in society, and largely to save money. And second of all, it just sickens me to see a morbidly obese person. It saddens me. It doesn't sicken me. It saddens me. In fact,
Yeah.
when I meet somebody who says, I need to lose weight, my health sucks, I'm out of shape. I'll never say, if they ask me, I'll never say, oh, you look great. You look, I say, no, you look like shit. You're not only gonna die, it's gonna take you 5 years to die. You're gonna die a miserable death.
Yeah.
And here's how you can make some changes. I know that's kind of harsh, but
No, but I think it needs to be heard, actually.
yeah. So, we started with this longevity clinic, which is going very, very well. It's expanding. We definitely want to do more of those. But like I said, it's not for everybody. And hopefully this beta will go well for us. And I'll send you some links if any of your followers want to join the beta. There's still a few spots left.
And what's with the beta? What do you get with that?
With the beta, it's a paid trial. We're not giving it away for free because we really want, you get a free dinner the food doesn't taste good, right? Or you don't show up. $75 a month, $199 a month, and $300 a month are the three different plans. The
Okay.
more expensive ones come with some tests like blood tests and DEXA scan. They all come with a doctor and the medical advisory board.
Let me just see, because I did have a whole bunch of questions. I want to see
Sure.
if I covered everything. Let me go to the last question that I had, which was, what excites you the most about where we're headed for preventative health and technology?
Well, as I said, I think I said it before. What excites me about seeing people really become more healthy or more health focused, changing beliefs. If you can change beliefs, you can change society. So I'm really excited about trying to change people's beliefs. It may not have the ultimate outcome of saving trillions of dollars, but it's kind of like the vegan, right? If I can just influence one person, right? It matters a lot to me if I can change one person's belief.
Yeah.
So I think that's my answer, changing beliefs.
But I think that in this country, more and more, as we're getting exposed to the idea of being healthier, I think people are more interested in that at this point. Like, I see a lot of health conscious people. I go to the gym, it's usually packed. Where I live, there's a lot of health food stores, they're packed. But then, there's McDonald's and Burger King and they're thriving as well. So I really don't know what the ratio is, but I'm hoping that as we move forward, more and more people are interested in maintaining good health, not waiting until they're sick to go to the doctor.
Right. You live in New York. I'm there often. I live in California. Things sort of tend to start on both coasts and then
Yeah,
work inward. So I don't know about, youth in the Midwest, but all of the 25 to 40-year-olds now are very conscious about they're drinking oat milk, whether or not it's better than whole milk.
right.
Their beliefs have changed. They're drinking less alcohol, right?
Yeah.
And some of our patients who are paying our full $11,000 fare are in their 30s. So
Wow, that,
people in their 60s and 70s are kind of like they don't trust the system, they don't trust AI, they don't trust, their data getting out there. But the younger generation gets it.
yeah. So I think we're headed in the right direction. Give me some final thoughts. What do you want to leave my audience with?
Oh, I would just say that you don't need to go spend any money to work on your own health and longevity. Use ChatGPT, download your documents into that,
It's
not to
really interesting.
dissuade people from joining our platform. We do a lot more, even for $80 a month, but you can
Yeah,
do it on your own. Go and I would encourage people to do a blood test, but don't stop there. Unfortunately, some of our competitors are just doing blood tests and selling supplements, right? And that helps, but you need a more comprehensive look at your profile. So I would do a DEXA scan for sure. A VO2 max test is great to get. It's not just for athletes. VO2 is a very strong indication of longevity. Indication of longevity. You can do things through exercise to increase your VO2 max.
is
And then
that lung
finally,
capacity that you
yeah,
talked about,
yep,
Hunter?
per
Yeah,
output of oxygen per output of your lung capacity, basically. And mine's always been very high because I've been a cyclist, but I've sort of backed off recently and it's not where I want it to be. So I'm going to do some interval training to get that up.
yeah,
And then finally, if you just remember one thing, notwithstanding, you just use the tools out there to analyze it, such as Chat or any large Gemini, whatever you use. But sleep, diet, and exercise. That's all that matters. You can forget all this longevity stuff.
yeah.
Make sure get a good night's sleep, and you'll figure that out. Don't be watching movies or drinking before you go to bed.
Right,
Don't read in
exactly.
bed. Don't watch TV in bed. I had to yank the TV out of my room several times for my wife. Moderate amount of exercise. 150 minutes of elevated heart rate is all you need, which could be walking.
Mm-hmm.
And then diet, it's just obvious.
Yeah. What you feeling on the wearables? The Aura Ring, the Apple Watch, and
So my partner and I have been going back and forth on that. I'm always pushing him to like, let's put everybody's data in there and, aggregate all this data. And it's taken some time for him to get through my thick skull that as great as that data is, it's really not a great measure of what we're trying to do to affect clinical outcomes. A glucose monitor is, right?
yeah,
Sleep's a good thing to have, and that's something we test for. But most of these wearables don't do anything to improve your health. It just tells you kind of what your condition is or what you might have.
yeah,
And in time, I do think I'll win over my partner and founder, where we will use the wearable data more for social determinants to get people motivated. So we can do challenges with the data,
okay, yeah, excellent,
exercise challenges, fitness challenges.
yeah,
But I mean, maybe you can tell me of some wearable devices. I mean, there are wearable devices out there, don't get me wrong. But for the masses, most, steps and miles and hiking and all that stuff, it's great. Like Strava is an amazing app for that, but we can't really use it right now for your longevity purposes. But again, we can use it as part of a workout regimen.
yeah, right. Exactly. Wow, I really think that you're going to be a huge success with this. I really do. It sounds exciting. It sounds way more affordable than going to a functional medicine doctor who, here in New York, anyway, I don't know about anywhere else, but it's like $1,200 a visit.
Yeah.
And sometimes going there 4 to 5 times a year. And that doesn't include supplements that she gives and bioidentical hormones and everything else. That's all out of pocket as
She
well.
she sells you the hormones and supplements?
No, the hormones, she writes a script and
Yeah.
then I bring it to a compounding pharmacy, but they don't accept medical insurance.
Yeah. Well, few do. What we hope to do if we have millions and millions of users on the platform is to partner with some of the supplement companies and even some of the great testing companies like Function Health and just, get discounts for consumers and pass those discounts on to consumers as
Yeah,
opposed to trying to sell supplements to people. It,
yeah.
it takes out the bias. Your doctor's not biased, but a lot of these companies are. You got to be really careful. You walk into a general nutrition store and you're going to walk out of there with a wheelbarrow full of pills. Bias.
Absolutely. This was a great conversation. Thank you so much for coming on. Please make sure that I have all the links and everything so I could put it in the show notes of the episode.
Okay, I sure will. I'll send
All
it to you
right.
right now.
Thank you, Hunter. It was great to meet you, and I wish you much success. I love what you guys are doing, and I think you're going to be very successful.
Thank you.
Take good care. Thank you all for joining me here today. I hope that you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did. Please leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought. And if you could think of anyone who you know and love who could benefit from listening to this episode, please share it out with them. And if you're not currently subscribed to my channel, please be sure to do so. I would appreciate that tremendously. Thank you again for joining, and I wish you the best of health always. Until the next time, be well, stay happy, and bye for now. Take good care, everyone.
Struggling with weight loss? Prolon's 5-day fasting mimicking diet is a clinically developed nutrition program designed to promote fat loss while protecting lean body mass. Developed at USC's Longevity Institute, it assists the body in entering a fasting-like state that helps reset metabolism and target visceral fat. In just 5 days, Prolon offers a science-backed approach to weight loss without extreme restriction or guesswork. Get 15% off plus a $40 bonus gift when you subscribe at prolonlife.com/now.